Here we're going to talk about finding and exploiting adjacent intent in paid search campaigns. And this is a strategy for expanding paid search beyond the obvious keywords. So when we think about keywords in a paid search campaign, particularly for SaaS companies, this is how we frame it for our clients. Kind of like a dartboard. At the bullseye of that dartboard, you have your own brand, and you might have your branded products. So in order to protect your brand and your branded products from competition in the SERPs, you've got to bid and ideally have 100% impression share on those terms. The next layer out on this dartboard are the competitors' brands. And the presumption there is that people that are searching for your competitors are pretty far along in their buying process. And if you can catch them and intercept them at that stage and get them to consider you as an alternative, then you have a great chance at a great conversion of a qualified customer. And then we go to the next layer out on this dartboard, which is much bigger typically, and that's where strong intent lives. And these are the people that are looking for exactly what you offer, but they're not searching for your brand or your competitor's brand, but they're using these non-branded terms. And usually that's where a lot of marketers stop. If we go one layer out from the strong intent ring, we've got the weak intent. And the weak intent might indicate that people are looking for those same types of terms, but maybe they're not including terms like buy or choose or select, but they might have intent that implies more that they're trying to educate themselves. So they may take longer. And oftentimes that's where paid search campaigns max out. That's where they hit the ceiling. And a lot of times marketers think the only way to grow now beyond paid search, since we've saturated the bottom of the funnel, is we've got to move up funnel to the middle and the top of the funnel with YouTube and with display and with social media. That's not always true, because adjacent intent means that people are searching for something that is similar to what you offer, probably without the knowledge of what you have to offer, but they might be convinced to move over. So you might be able to catch them and move them a little bit over to having the intent that you want. So let's try to take a real example of this. I'm going to go over to Ahrefs Keyword Explorer, and here is a term called virtual mailbox. So this is a company that offers a virtual mailbox that allows you to have your mail sent to another location and even opened and scanned so that you can read it and organize and manage your mail in an app on your phone. So virtual mailbox has a decent amount of search volume, and you can see the trend has been rising over the last few years, which is nice. And if we go deeper into this terms match, we can see that the whole cluster or cloud of terms is around 20,000 per month in the US. So you may think, all right, this is what we offer. Once we have exploited this 20K as much as possible, there's nowhere else to go. But we have to think creatively. People that are looking for this virtual mailbox, what are their alternatives today that may really be the ones that they use? So what do people use today who are not aware of a virtual mailbox, which does a lot of the same thing? Well, how about PO Box? So let's go for PO Box. Let's look at that volume. Now we've got 712,000 keywords. So let's look at this and try to infer some of the intent. PO Box, how much does a PO Box cost? And examples. And then there's some specific PO Box numbers that we see here. But what this is telling me is that there's at least 10 or 20 times more people looking for a PO Box than there are people looking for a virtual mailbox. And a PO Box is really the old-fashioned version of a digital mailbox. You have your mail sent somewhere else, and then you can go pick it up. So you can maintain your privacy. You can keep your business mail separate from your home mail, and it has a lot of other benefits. Well, a virtual mailbox does all of those things. So why not go for PO Box terms as a form of adjacent intent and see if you can enlighten people who are looking for PO Boxes to consider the alternative, which is a virtual mailbox, which is also about the same cost. So that is an example of finding adjacent intent. And this is a great way to keep expanding your paid search campaigns beyond the obvious terms so that you don't have to resort to display and video sooner than you really need to.